After long last, Genshin Impact has done two things. They've announced the ability for us to get Constellations for free, and they've also announced the ability for us to finally level our characters to level 100. So let's break this down here for you. Now, this is going to be a two-part thing. The ability for us to get Constellations for characters, and the ability for us to level our characters up to a new level 100 level cap. As you can see here, there's going to be a lot of stuff going into the Genshin anniversary in this Luna version 1 update, but the Stella Fortuna is seen right here. This is the item you need to get the dupe constellation for your characters, and you can already see that there's going to be something called a Masterless Stella Fortuna, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. That's going to be the second part of what we're talking about here for version Luna 1. Now, the first part we're going to be talking about is the ability for us to go ahead and get duplicate units and also get those constellations for free. This is going to be part of a new permanent event that's going to be added to Genshin Impact, a permanent system. And it actually isn't really all that involved, and you can see you're going to get a lot of different rewards here, but the main thing is going to be the new constellation for free. And this is going to come from this new daily/weekly training goal thing. Honestly, this isn't that much of an update. It's just a reason for you to log into the game and make sure that you're doing your dailies and your weeklies every single time. Basically, what you need to do is 5 out of the 7 days of the week, make sure that you claim your 4 commissions and use 120 resin each single day, which isn't that hard to do if you're a daily login player or a weekly login player for Genshin. As long as you do these things 5 times a week, you're going to be progressing yourself towards completion so you can get a constellation of your choosing, which we'll talk about. There is going to be a little bit of snag there as well. And they say this right down here. This means that if you met the daily or the weekly training goals in any of the 8 of 12 weeks of the event, you can claim all the rewards, including that nice little constellation bonus. And you can go ahead and see that you have the ability to choose. It's not going to be like a random constellation. Thank goodness for that. But there are going to be a couple of stipulations when we're talking about this event and your ability to select the characters of your choosing. Now, the first thing that we need to talk about when we're talking about the stipulations for your choice of being able to pick characters is, well, the fact that you might not have just as much of a choice as you really want to. For instance, the list of available characters for this cycle, remember it's going to be a cycling event, and so the list of characters should change with it, but the first one here that they gave us, you can see the little first batch of characters here, includes some hits as well as some misses. There's some standard banner characters on here. There's some old ones that aren't really used all that much in the meta anymore, like Eula, but you also have some nice ones in here like Hu Tao. Like, a lot of players wanted to play Hu Tao, but they didn't want to pull for a Hu Tao duplicate to get that very powerful Constellation 1, so you can use her dash animation cancel, and this is something that's going to allow you to do that. There is another thing here though, is that even though you can pick a character, you're not able to pick them multiple times. So if you wanted to go from like a C0 Hu Tao to a C4 Hu Tao in the same cycle of this event, you're not going to be able to do that. And I totally get it. I'm not quite sure why they had to go that route as well, but this is going to tie into a second thing, because not only are you able to get constellations for characters that you might not have access to the constellations that you desire quite yet, and this is going to help you get those C1s and C2s, but this plays into your ability to level your characters up to max cap of level 100. So when you acquire the Stella Fortuna for a 5-star character who's already at Constellation level 6, you get a Masterless Stella Fortuna as well. This is going to be a brand new item. So if you have the ability to pull a character, whether it's from this new thing that you're choosing or you pull your 19th Diluc, you'll be able to get a Masterless Stella Fortuna. Now, using one of them will increase your cap from 90 to 95, and 2 of them will increase the cap from 95 to 100, which is kind of crazy. I thought it would be 1 and 1, but this literally says consume 1 to go to 95 and then consume 2 to go from 95 to 100. I honestly hope that it means consume 2 total, but that's not what this says right here. And we can see Anefa getting a level cap increase of 100 here. The base stats do look like they don't really change all that much either. As you can see, level 100, 887 defense, 859 base attack. Level 95 is 822 base attack. Yay, you can upgrade your character's favorite stats. Now let's talk about what they expect us to do here. Now, you can obtain Masterless Stella Fortuna through the following methods. If you wish on a character in a wish banner, the anniversary standard, 5-star character banner, whatever. If your character constellations are maxed out, you'll get the Masterless Stargazer like 25 times as usual, but you also get a Masterless Stella Fortuna. And then also, if you redeem a Stella Fortuna of a character whose constellations have reached the maximum level during the new Temper Thyself and Journey Far like permanent event going on, you'll also get a Masterless Stella Fortuna, which allows you to do two things with the new constellation picker. You can work on someone you don't have constellations for, but if you have a couple of the standard banner characters like we saw there, had the likes of, I do believe, like Kaching, you know, some old ones, Mona, Chi-Chi, Diluc, Jean. If you were worried about leveling up different characters to level 95, level 100, and you don't want to actually get any of the constellations for these characters here, you can just pick a character that you already have C6, like Diluc or Jean or Chi-Chi, and that'll give you the Masterless, which you can then go ahead and use on anybody that you so desire, which is kind of neat, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure. All right, I'm not totally sold on this. So they do have a little bit of Q&A here to solve some of our questions, maybe temper some of our about it. So, question 1, during 2 Temper Thyself and Journey Far event, if I obtain a new character from the event's exchange list, can I also acquire their Stella Fortuna through the event? Yes. During the event, travelers can freely select the character that they want to obtain the Stella Fortuna for at any time. So this is if I start the event and I don't have a character, but then I pull the character off banner or something, can I then get their constellation? They say yes. All right. Will it be continued to be available? It's a permanent event like we talked about, and it's going to cycle every 12 weeks. After the current cycle concludes, the next cycle will begin on the following Monday. So this is something that's going to be permanently added to Genshin, confirmed here. And this is going to allow you to obtain a Stella Fortuna duplicate constellation item for approximately 4 5-star characters for free each year. So you're going to be able to get 4 duplicates per year. That is what they're aiming for with this. If that's enough for you, that's one thing. If that's not enough for you, that's another thing. I honestly think it's a little bit low if we're factoring in the ability for us to use these duplicate items to gain access to level 95, level 100. If the counter argument is that, hey, you don't need to be level 95, level 100 on your favorite characters or whatever, fine, but also at the same time, like, why is that system kind of in the game? In my opinion, also as well, it seems to just kind of be like well, you keep hitting the 50 or 50-50, you keep hitting it. You keep losing the 50-50, you keep pulling Diluc, you keep pulling Chi-Chi, you keep pulling Jean, Kaching, all of these off-banner characters. Well, the constellation prize now is going to be the fact that you're going to be able to level some other characters of your choice to 95, 100. And for Noelle mains out there, I think I kind of already know what I'll be doing when this happens, and it'll be confirmed down here, I hope. So when increasing the character's ascension level using Masterless Stella Fortuna, do I need to use other items? You don't need to use other items. It's just the new super duplicate item. All right. And then Masterless Stella Fortuna can be used to ascend any character up to a maximum of level 100. But remember, you only get Masterless Stella Fortuna for pulling a duplicate 5-star character that already is Constellation 6, or redeeming them with the new Constellation Selector that you can get about 4 every year. So that is going to be a big thing there, but there is some silver lining here. And there is no version limit for getting the Masterless Stella Fortuna compensation. So if you are an old head, you were playing the game for quite a while, you have like a C17 Diluc or Chi-Chi or whatever standard banner character you have out there, you're going to be logging in and you'll be getting all of your Masterless Stella Fortuna for free. So you'll be able to level characters up to 95 to 100 without having to pull duplicate characters from the patch going forward. It's going to retroactively look back in time and reward you with this stuff as well. So all in all, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It is something. I like the fact that, hey man, there's going to be some constellations rewarded if you just play the game like usual. You don't have to do anything brand spanking new. Do your dailies, right? Get that weekly thing done. You'll be able to get 4 constellations of your choice-ish per year. The downsides that I don't really like about this is, well, you can't select any old character, and while you can get 4 a year, they might not be the 4 that you want depending on the ones that get added to the list, okay? The other thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is the fact that you'll be logging in, especially if you're an old player and lost your 50/50s a ton, and getting a fair amount of the new constellation material to level cap break your characters to 95 or 100. There'll be a nice little surge there, which is going to add interest to the new patch of 6.0 for Genshin Impact with Nod Krai. But afterwards, it will be a slow drip, and you'll only be getting 4 a year in conjunction with pulling duplicate characters. So unless you're like a Giga Whale out there who's trying to pull for Constellation 6 and getting a bunch of off banners, you're not going to really get that many more. Or if you're a free-to-play player and you're just the most unlucky free-to-play player that exists in all of Genshin Impact, you always miss the 50/50, you always hit that Diluc in your Constellation 25, you will slowly accrue your ability to level cap character break to 95 or 100 as well. Is this enough to make me want to go back into Genshin Impact? I'm not quite sure. I was going to check it out anyway, but honestly, if I can log in and get like a level 100 Noelle right off the bat, I'll probably be doing that just to see, hey man, how much more can our girl do, you know, at level 100? And until then, have fun out there. Let me know what you think about it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.